game situations,
Yep.
I'm sure you kind of reviewed that with your
Yep.
team. What did you try to impart to them on what we saw?
Well, one is the urgency to win a catch and then secure the ball. Like, we actually got a couple catches where we just were loose with the ball. And so, it's when we talk about, and then our space was not great. They had turned around and were face guarding, and we kept running into it instead of kind of using. We actually, the first possession, what happened was the first possession we got the over the top pass to Rudy, and then he turned and jumped all the way from in front of him to the other side in front of him and stole the ball, and then our guys got jittery about making the play that needs to be made, and then it kind of cascaded out of there. But it's our guys hung in there. I mean, you just think about the guys we had on the floor at that point, and it's complicated. It's just complicated for young, new guys, right? And so, we'll do better as we move forward. But yeah, like always, I was super proud of these guys just being resilient and just hanging in there and keep playing, moving on to the next play. Like,
and always nice to get a win and still be able to teach that lesson.
For sure. And listen, we have so much to learn that we're at no loss of like having great lessons to teach the guys. So, but you're right, it is nice to win, and it helps. Like, the winning side helps because it gives you some more staying power for a little bit longer. So,
I think you mentioned in there defending the three-point line.
Yeah.
Has that been a major point of emphasis for you? And what do you guys mean?
It's super complicated because actually our numbers, the data is super complicated actually. And responding to the data right now is super complicated because the percentage of difficult threes that we forced has been better than it was last year, and teams have made them. And so it's just it's like that. So we're arguing about it among ourselves right now. Do we make a schematic change right now? Do we wait for the numbers to even themselves out? Are they never going to even themselves out? Like, it's all, and that's why we can't just have the data coach us, right? Because it's always, when you get deep enough, it's always such a nuanced discussion. So we're trying to pay huge attention to it on both sides of the three-point line, right? But, oh man, we're fighting ourselves. We're really fighting ourselves on exactly the right way to proceed, because we don't want to. Sometimes you can overreact to the data, and then you make, then you got all the unintended consequences that come with that. When if you had just stayed the course a little while, maybe the numbers are going to start, the law of averages is going to start to work itself out. The numbers were going to be more faithful to you. So we're trying to figure that out.
You guys all done with their finals? Or
No, we got 5 guys with American Heritage tonight, and that's been like, you guys all know about American Heritage, right? It's like if you took SEAL training and Ranger training and you smushed them together with the first astronauts that went to the moon and their training, and then threw in a little bit of like, if I was more coherent, I would tell you the Grandmaster chess champion of the world right now. Smush all those in. That's like preschool compared to American Heritage. So my guys are on the rocks right now. All I know is that of the guys in the class, we traveled with tutors to, where were we just at? To Vegas. And the night before the game, we were meeting in the back of the conference room, and we had a bunch of students at the front, and they were taking a practice test on Kahoot. And all I kept seeing was, of the 5 guys, almost every answer, I had 4 guys giving a different answer. So hopefully we made progress since then.
Speaking of progress, what's the update you can provide on Foose?
I don't know. Like, he's got, jeez.
Is it another hamstring?
No, it's not a hamstring. It's a little different issue, and so it just is like, I don't know. Like, come on, man. Damn. Like, it just is. We've been a little snake bit there. So.
Speaking of injuries and kind of injury management, with some of the return missionaries, are
Yep.
you planning on having any sort of restriction in terms of the number of practices just to kind of get them through this year?
Yeah, so to their disapproval, we're trying to do everything we can to limit what they do, and it just is like we just got to nurse them through it, because for them to, I'd rather have them and they're missing some segments of practice, they're missing some specific reps, and we're just trying to nurse them through the season. It's just what you do with return missionaries. You just got to find a way to, because if they can't make it through the season, then their trajectory is great, and if they don't, then it's a huge step backwards, because you've so easily your body falls into the 2 years of inactivity because you just haven't had a base of activity for that long. So we're trying, we're really trying.
I feel like I ask you this often. You played a lot of rivalry games
Yep.
this year, but is Utah going to be a game you keep going forward with in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an important game, and we love the game, and so I hope so. I think that's the plan. I think on both sides, but as we know, all kind of unpredictable happens, but yeah, that's the plan. So.
Coach, you touched on him a little bit after the game in Vegas, but I was wondering if maybe we could explore it a little more. But Rudy's impact coming off the bench.
Yeah.
You were saying that, what he's done, it takes
Yep.
a pretty remarkable point
Yeah.
guard to kind of do what he's done.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on
Well-
what he's meant sort of in that role.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this so much. You guys are tired of hearing it, but the gravity of the game and fans and media and everybody else, it just wants to pull you away from focusing on just being a great basketball player, and everything is trying to tear you away from that focus. And circumstance can do that too, for sure. And so, I mean, in Rudy's situation, he was starting and now he's coming off the bench. And for mere mortals, that would be super disruptive and super distracting to your focus and your commitment and everything else, especially for a senior, right? It would be that. But for those really, really special guys, especially when you're facing a lot of criticism and everything else. I mean, there's a billion reasons for Rudy to just come in and have a bad day. Okay, like I said, 99.9% of the population at this point would have come in and had several bad days, which is all the adversity that he's faced. And but he's one of those rare guys that is just you know what, I'm not letting circumstance affect me. I'm going to come get better every single day. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better. I'm going to work harder. And he stayed focused. We've used some examples. Like Tua with the Miami Dolphins right now is such an incredible example of who was the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback? Yeah, Jalen Hurts is such an incredible example. We talk about Jalen Hurts all the time with Tua. Jalen Hurts leads Alabama to an undefeated season. And in the national championship game, he gets benched for a rookie, right? And Jalen Hurts, that his guts were being, it because you know human beings. His guts were being ripped to shreds as he watched Tua lead that team to a national championship and saw his future potentially going away. And 99.999% of people would have gone away after that. But Jalen didn't. Jalen said, you know what, this is not, I'm not getting distracted here. I'm going to keep working. And now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And then, the other example that this is where I'm trying to, put Rudy's character right now. The other example I love is Jalen Brunson so much. Jalen Brunson's in the national championship game. He's the Wooden Award winner, the player of the year. And if you remember that national championship game, Archie who's the kid that was drafted by Milwaukee? What's it? DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo just loses his mind, and Jalen's not playing well. And Jalen sat on the bench for 25 minutes in the national championship game, and all he's there cheering his guys on, and his guts are being ripped to shreds. And like I said, almost every human being on the planet goes sideways. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means you just can't stay focused, and you mope, you're sad, you just get quiet, you get reticent, you get embarrassed, You get all those feelings, and Jalen Brunson, speaking of his character, was just like totally in it for his team, 100% national champion. And then this dude gets in the league, and he tore up the Jazz in the playoffs last year. And like you just see some guys that are made of different stuff, right? And right now, Rudy's trying to live in that space, right? And he's done an incredible job. Like he has, I'm super proud of him, man. I think he's a special young man, just like all these guys in our locker room are special. But you get me started on this, I could go for days because it is the heart of like a team guy, and it's how you end up being successful. Is you don't succumb to circumstance. You get up the next morning, you keep working, and you stay focused. And he's done that in an incredible way.
How satisfying of a win was that at Creighton in your time here at BYU to face all that adversity you need for this young group to rise up? And get that win?
I sit with Greg and Mark after the game, and sometimes it takes me 45 minutes to get to radio after the game, and just shaking my head, being like, how blessed have we been here at BYU? I mean, we just been super blessed, man. We're so spoiled with we're just really blessed, and we've been able to sit there after games like that so many times and just be like, wow, this is really awesome. So I think it was really important I think it was a gift for us. It was really important for us. It was, we still have so much growing to do, clearly, but when you can steal some games in the process and win some games and learn while you're winning, it goes a long way. So it was really important for us.
Kind of going off of that, I know it's early in the year, but did you feel like that was a win that you really needed to have, looking back on it?
I think every win is a win we have to have. Yeah, I mean, I think every game is a game we need to win. I'm not smart enough to kind of like parse that out, but I think I think mostly I just felt so happy for our guys. I mean, I think we talked about this post game for a second. It was just like, there are those moments when you feel like all agendas on the entire team have just dissipated, and everybody is engaged in the fight, in the desperation of the moment. And you rarely experience that ever in life, and you rarely experience that in athletics. And the fact that we got to share that together for, 35 minutes, it was super special. I think it was super special because it's awesome, and it's just as beautiful and fun, and it bonds you together. And so in that way, I just felt happy for our guys that they got to experience that and know what it feels like.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you.